galactic guys, John Ennis and Mighty Mike Taylor.
There is a space age quality to them.
This is the Galactic Coast Power Hour on Vinyl Draft Radio.
That is right. This is the Galactic Coast Power Hour. We're coming to you live from the ACU Texas studio on the top floor of the historic Gemini building, just down the street from the home of human spaceflight. My name is John Ennis, and tonight I'm joined by my brother in brew, Mighty Mike Taylor.
Yo, yo.
And behind the glass in the production room, we've got Greg back running the board, keeping us on the air and sounding good. How goes it, Greg?
I'm back, baby.
You're back. Man, glad to have you back.
Back, baby. Good to see you, Greg.
Yeah, so we had a lot of fun with our special signature September singer, songwriter, storyteller showcase series that we extended into October.
I did not come up with that name.
But, alliteration, man, alliteration. But it's time to get back to our roots, and that is craft beer. And joining us to do exactly that are the fellows and founders from soon-to-be Houston's newest brew pub, Local Group Brewing. That is joining us live in the studio, Michael, Todd, and Huggy Bear.
Hello, hello.
Hey, fellas, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for joining us, guys.
Now, thanks for having us.
I think I figured out which one of you is Huggy Bear right off the bat. I don't know what it was.
Oh, yeah?
No way.
But man, you all are on quite an exciting journey, and we love visiting with people that are about to open breweries, and of course, Huggy Bear. You've well, first of all, Huggy Bear, I just got to ask you, what's the story behind the name?
Oh yeah, so I started at No Label. This was 7 years ago, and we were out at doing an event one night, pint night, down at Guru Burger down in Sugar Land.
Awesome.
And they have they name all their crepes and burgers, and we were talking about names. Everyone needs a nickname at the brewery, and my wife was with me, and she's like, "Hey, you're Huggy Bear," and then it kind of stuck.
It's stuck. Awesome. And nobody said no. That doesn't work.
No one said no. So
that's how it happens.
Well, it keeps you out of trouble when the wife comes up with that name for you, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it could get awkward otherwise.
And you can't pick your own nickname. Someone else has to do it for you.
No, that's true. You cannot pick your own nickname. So, you mentioned No Label. You've got kind of a history here, both here locally at the home of human spaceflight, but then also in the local Houston beer scene. First of all, let's talk about your background real quick. I mean, might as well. You came to this area to work in spaceflight. Is that correct?
Yeah. So I grew up mostly in Phoenix, and then moved out here I wanted to work in space. So I have a degree in aerospace engineering.
Nice.
And wanted to work on space. So I started on the space station and came and worked for Boeing, and was out here for about 8 years or so, and worked on space station, space shuttle, back to station again.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. And then I guess you somehow the craft beer called you away from space, huh?
Yeah, it was just I was looking for something new, and beer is a hobby that stuck with me for over the years, and so I started drinking it. Well, I drink it for a while, but started making it, and was like, oh, that's pretty fun. I want to do this more, and then started volunteering. I started volunteered at Southern Star. St. Arnold, and Carbach when they first opened, and then No Label. And then No Label said, hey, you volunteer here for a little bit, we'll give you a job. And I was like, yeah, let's do that. So, yeah. And then that's kind of what I just jumped mid leap, and I'm a lot happier now. It's a lot more work, but it's fun. It's awesome.
Excellent. Awesome. It's amazing how the connection between space and beer and craft beer. I mean, I was thinking as you're talking, man, I can't think of anybody more fitting to have on the show as somebody that is an aerospace engineer and has spent time in human space flight and now is involved in the brewery. But then again, I thought, well, we've already had. I mean, there's other people in the local, Val from Val & Sons. I mean, although we're not allowed to talk about what he does a lot, but he spent his career in human space flight too, and now opened up a brewery. The whole Mastronauts, which I'm wearing a Mastronaut shirt. I mean, there's so many aerospace engineers. There's some kind of cool connection between space and beer, and of course that's kind of the theme for our show. So man, so pumped you could join us.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited.
So at what point did you pick up these fine gentlemen on your way to where we are now? How'd this all happen?
Yeah, so I'd been looking myself to do my own thing for a while, and then I saw that Michael and Todd had posted they were looking to open a brew pub, and I applied, and then we met, we talked, and we hit it off right away.
Excellent. So Michael and Todd, so what so you posted something. I mean, you all collaborated and decided, let's open a brewery. So how'd that come about? What's the process there?
Yeah, so Todd and I worked together for probably 10 years or so. I moved to Houston about 8 years ago, kind of 4 or 5 years into that, we had hung out all the time. We would always go out for beers, hang out, go around, check out the local brew pubs, that sort of thing. And we kind of got into home brewing. And we started in my apartment. We went to Todd's garage, and we started doing it. And we're like, let's start a brewery. And I think we knew enough to realize that our beer was good, but we kind of wanted to take it to the next level. So that's when Huggy came in. So we're like, yeah, we need a professional here. So we definitely want to make a chill space, a cool environment, but let's up our beer a little bit. So we knew enough to know that we needed a little bit more. So we sent out that posting, and Huggy applied, and that was the end of that. We knew as soon as we met him that he was the guy.
What's the location of the brewery?
It's just in Hardy Yards. It's about a 5-minute walk from St. Arnold.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I walked it last summer, so you can walk it. It's not in the summer. It's not a great walk, but you can walk it. Yeah,
just don't walk too far west.
It's gotten better and better.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, and there's quite a view. I mean, in matter of fact, I was looking at some photos. I mean, you can see the whole downtown skyline from there. Correct? I mean,
yeah. Right now you can see, because we're just north of Hardy Yards, and Hardy Yards is a big empty grass land. There used to be a train yard.
Yep.
And then they got demolished. It's been empty for decades, and the city's been trying to develop it for a long, long time. And so they're now starting. We're kind of not the first thing in there, but we're in there now, and they redid this whole street right in front of us. And then you can see a good view downtown. You can actually see Minute Maid Park from our patio as well.
Yeah, that's a spot of revitalization. The city's been trying to get that little side fixed up for a while, but good. When St. Arnold moved there, I knew they were gonna do something. And then when we were at the beer gardens, I stepped out of the one beer garden. I looked over and I saw you can see the whole city from right there, right? And then he had a couple of pieces of brewery art placed in your eye lines. So we looked out, I was like, oh my god, this is a genius right here. That is so cool. But from that side of town, you can see all the lights, you can see all the buildings. So is your tap room on that side for that viewing, or?
Yeah, that's exactly. We have a parking lot behind of the building, but we wanted to preserve that view. And it's the closest area to downtown where there's no development in that empty space.
It's clear shot. Yeah, it's clear shot the whole way.
Yeah.
Well played. And you all actually bought the land, correct? I mean, you all made an investment in this whole
nice
revitalization of the area, correct?
Very smart.
For sure, yeah. No, it's a great area. We're happy to be there. And to be honest, we were looking for a place for probably Todd and I for a year. We looked all over every spot in the loop, and literally it came down to us driving up and down the streets inside the loop, just looking for places for sale. And drove by one day and it said for sale sign right there. You look one side, there's the warehouse, the other side there's the view of downtown, and you're just like, I gotta call this guy right now. So we called him, left a message, he got back to us the next day, and we just went from there, bought it. So it was
So let me ask
fortuitous, you could say.
Nice. So did you get to that point? Not because I remember when we were at that point where you would look at every piece of real estate for sale and you convert it into a brewery or brew pub in your head, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you did that. Yeah,
for sure.
That's what you have to do.
That's awesome. Man, I can't think of a better thing to throw in an area that needs to be revitalized than a brew pub.
I wonder if there's any grants from the city or from the state that y'all could apply for that would help y'all out there.
That's a good question.
Because you own the land and because you're trying to transform that area, I wonder if there's something available for you guys.
Well, I think Todd was looking into some bikes to put in there, so he's got...
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the Houston B-Cycle.
Okay.
You can get some grants and city money, I guess, to help.
Something to help that initial growing cost, yeah. Especially in an area that's about to probably get pretty popular down there.
Yeah, for sure.
So
yeah, the light rail, there's the transit station there. So it's buses, light rail, both come in there.
Yep.
And there's no parking, so everyone's parking on the street, and so they'll park just far enough that they can see our place and hopefully stop in for a beer after work.
So there's a bus station within walking distance?
Yeah, it's about half a mile.
That's within walking distance? Yeah, that works.
I know. They've been laying train tracks down there for the last 7 years hardcore, man. It's going to radically change the way you move around the city when you actually get to the city. For us, we're kind of fucked because we're out here in Clear Lake. You got to Uber in or whatever, but...
Yeah, we're about 5-10 minutes from downtown, so it's...
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. Grab
a beer,
perfect.
wait out traffic. That's
hell yeah, man.
There's that new Elysian Viaduct going right into our area, too, so that's going to connect us to downtown as well. So there's 2 roads in.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so it should be good.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. So I noticed y'all are wearing the gear. I mean, and some pretty slick... logo and some design work going on. That's pretty nice. So, okay, let's talk about the name, Local Group Brewing. Now, I did a little play when we previewed the show, local, but I think from doing some research, I know it's more than just local. I mean, what's the story behind the name?
Yeah, I think Michael or Todd can talk to that.
Yeah, so it's like finding a place, coming up with a name was super difficult. It took us a year, like Googling so many times different names, and it really came down to like what do we want this place to be, and like what are we interested in. So like literally, what are we interested in? I'm sitting here watching Cosmos, that space biography, and just sitting there in my spare time watching this, and so it's like going through it, and it's a galactic address, right? And so it comes up on there, and like, what's your galactic address? And it's like, okay, so it's like 1504 Chapman, that's our building address. Houston, Texas, Earth, solar system, the Milky Way galaxy, the local group, Virgo supercluster, and the observable universe. So I'm like, the local group. Oh, that's kind of like, that's pretty cool, right?
I like that.
And then I was like,
it's an intergalactic name.
It's an intergalactic name, yeah. So and then like, what else are we trying to do? It's like it's a brew pub. So we're gonna have food, we're gonna have beer. We want to be a part of the community. It's like a small business. It's hyper local, and it's just like how those two compete with each other. Like it's such a massive universe, and then like we just want to be a small part of it. And whether that small part is like Hardy Yards or Houston or Texas, like it's mind-boggling. Or Earth, it's mind-boggling small compared
the blue
to what
dye, man.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like as soon as that came, I was like, yeah, that's a name.
I like that.
Yeah, he sent that text, and I was like, fuck, he nailed it.
Boom.
Finally. Like, I don't have to search this one.
This guy's been killing me. He just pulled through.
Lock it down.
It's kind of a play on words, right? Because
Eureka
local, you're
moment,
thinking
yeah.
of local, but then it's a much bigger thing that, knowing the whole backstory behind how you came up with it. I love it.
For sure. And like when you walk into the building, you'll definitely notice the theme behind everything. So we put a lot of thought into everything and how it's laid out. So even, the galaxy on our logo and all that sort of stuff.
Right.
So, yeah.
Excellent. And you all are, from what I understand, you're going to have a kitchen in there, right?
Yeah, we got a kitchen. We were on the hunt for a chef for a long time, and we finally got someone that has got the right combination of food. He can cook, he can manage people, he's got a good attitude, and he's part of the community too. And so we're excited to have him on board.
Sweet.
Excellent.
Good
Excellent.
find.
Do we want to plug his name? What's the chef you finally came up with?
What are some upcoming dishes?
Yeah, it's Chef Jeff Samoska. He just started with us actually like a week ago.
Nice.
So right now he's starting to create the menu. He's getting things set up with vendors, looking at dishware, all this sort of stuff. There's going to be a hiring fair, so he's on top of it. So we really brought him on because we're like, we need somebody that needs to manage this whole thing, right? And he's got a lot of experience. He's worked for hotels. He worked for the Post Oak here. They have crap.
He's used to working in a machine then.
Oh, yeah. Hotels, like, it kind of is. So it's a little
It's
bit
a
of an,
freaking machine, yeah, for sure.
hours, yeah.
It's like running an army when you run a kitchen. It really is.
It really is. And he's like, it's so refreshing to come here and just like, last night we're out for beers. And like, how often are you doing that when you're working 18-hour days at a hotel? So it's just a totally switch of pace for him. So he's super excited about it.
Nice.
Badass. What kind of food do y'all plan on serving? I guess ask the chef.
Yeah, we have an idea of the serve that we want, the food we want.
Jeff
to serve.
Samoska, is that what you said?
Yeah,
Samosa.
Yeah. It's think of like kind of elevated bar food. So it'll be, we're gonna have simple things on the menu that like everybody has, or maybe not everybody, but like we'll have a poutine on the menu. There's gonna be wings on the menu. There'll be a burger on the menu, but a lot of this will be like a house-made burger, a house-made bun, maybe.
Empanadas? Any empanadas in the menu?
That's a good question. If you check on our Insta, there's a little post there, and it says, "What do you suggest the food we should have?" So if you want empanadas,
Mike, you have an opportunity to make.
The thing is not a lot of people have really good empanadas. And if he can make a pie crust, empanadas are man, those are the shit, dude.
They are very delicious.
Let's win vote for empanadas.
It's a taco, but it's like a pie. It's like a pie taco.
You ever stop by
Man,
Batango?
now you're making me hungry, man.
Say what?
You ever stop by Batango on the way to Minute Maid?
No, I have
They've
not.
got good empanadas.
Oh,
Nice.
Ooh.
I know there's spots here, but they're like so selected and in between. And I've got a buddy across town. He's like, dude, come to my neighborhood. There's like 4 restaurants here. They're badass empanadas. I'm like, I'm not hooked up with the Peruvian community, man. I don't know what's what's going on. The El Salvadorians can cook them pretty good, but man, the Peruvians, dude, they got it down, dude. They got that shit down. When we were in New York, we had some, and ever since I've been chasing. It's like I guess that's what like a heroin addict feels like, right? He's chasing that high. That's how good those empanadas were. We've been chasing that the whole time.
Awesome.
I don't know. Just a suggestion.
Vote for empanadas.
Yeah, just a suggestion. Whatever.
Well, hey,
The empanada hour.
When we come back, we're about to take a break, and because we got a break after the heroin reference, because we just got to leave it. We got to leave that alone. But when we come back, we're going to talk about collaborations, because you guys have already been very active with a bunch of local breweries and collaborations. So we're going to come back with the fellas from Local Group Brewing after this break.
Nice.